Devil's advocates whisper in the hall, where justice wears a mask and truth begins to fall. Every thread they pull, every lie they weave, in the courtroom's dance, who's left to believe? Oh, the devil's in the details, hiding in plain sight, innocent until the gavel steals the light. True crime echoes through the hollow night, fighting injustice with no end. The devil's in the details, hiding in plain sight, innocent until the gavel steals the light. True crime echoes through the hollow night, fighting injustice with no end in sight. A photograph fades where the truth once stood. Blurred lines between the bad and the good. The scales they tilt with every silver tongue, while the broken cry for a song unsung. Black robes sway like shadows on the wall. One wrong word and the mighty fall. Who's a sinner? Who's a saint? The jury's out, but the verdict's faint. Oh, the devil's in the details, hiding in plain sight, innocent until the gavel steals the light. True crime echoes through the hollow night, fighting injustice with no end. The devil's in the details, hiding in plain sight, innocent until the gavel steals the light. True crime echoes through the hollow night, fighting injustice with no end in sight.
Ladies and gentlemen, do you want to know why I'm here today? It's not because I want to give you a pep talk or because I want to make you feel good about yourselves. No, I'm here to tell you the truth.
All right. Hello. Welcome into a Saturday night. Hopefully you can hear me. Can I get away from somebody backstage? Make sure I got sound perfect. Fantastic. It live from the West Coast. It's Saturday night. It doesn't have the same ring as live from New York, but hey, I'm going to go with it anyways. Welcome to the Saturday night edition of Crimes After Dark. This show is a little bit raunchy, a little bit irreverent. I'll put up on the screen for just a moment the whole parental advisory. Parental discretion is advised. Warning, but I'll move that off the stage here in a minute as we bring our panelists or our guests up. If you haven't been here before, this show has kind of evolved into a nightly recap of the major cases that we're covering. My channel covers 5 cases. The Idaho 4 case that you think would be over is probably the most hottest story right now because of the new documents that are being released, new video that's being released, legal actions that are, or I shouldn't say public records requests and a whole bunch of things going on in the background of that kind of stuff. So that's hot and heavy. Luigi Mangione had major news. I did a major hour and 15-minute video that'll publish tomorrow morning on the latest filing by Karen Ignifilo in defense of Luigi Mangione in the Southern District of New York. Her filing basically asking to dismiss outright the federal case against Luigi Mangione and the reasons why she thinks that should happen. I did a breakdown of what I feel is the legal strategy of Luigi Mangione's team. It won't make everybody happy, but it's how I see it. I just call it as I see it. So I'm going to break it down for you. Really great bombshell information. And to be fair, I feel like there was some bombshell information that Karen Ignifilo dropped in that argument that people haven't talked about before, about Pam Bondi's personal financial stake in this whole case, why she financially could benefit from executing Luigi Mangione. That was a huge lead in that document. And so we'll break that down in detail, which will air tomorrow at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We can talk about it tonight, however, because the same kind of people who watch the lives are not necessarily the same people who watch the long form video. So if we want to talk about that with my team, if they know what I'm talking about, we can talk about it. If they don't know what we're talking about, I can talk about that. So we've got big Luigi news. We've got big, well, Idaho 4 doesn't have any brand new legal news, but I do have some stuff to talk about, filings that are coming in and some responses that we've got from Pullman Police Department, as well as on the Coberger case, some information about Jules and the stuff that's going on there. Before I bring my panelists up, I want to say this. I'm seeing lately more and more of a divisive tone amongst YouTubers, especially in this true crime space. So I want to warn you all, like, not everybody appreciates, I'll admit this, not everybody appreciates my Switzerland approach to things, which is to try to stay neutral and not get involved in the bullshit and picking, sides and fighting amongst each other. And you need to stand up for this and say this. I tend to say, why can't we all just treat each other respectfully? I don't want to get into the drama. I try to avoid the drama. And in doing so, sometimes I ruffle feathers the wrong way. In my lack of response, people will think, well, you should stand up for your friends. You should say something. You should be more firm. So let me tell you, like, the number one pet peeve I have, and this wasn't said to me recently, so don't get it wrong, but the number one pet peeve I have is that attitude of you either are for us or against us. You can't be neutral. I hate that kind of forced mentality that you must pick a side. I don't want to pick sides. I would rather us all get along, talk about things, and be respectful to each other and try to lead the way in a respectful and mutual conversation rather than name calling and all that crap. But I've seen it happen more and more. Our mods are good at shutting down name calling in particular, over the top comments. We do encourage, by the way, people to come on and stress their opinions. And in fact, I've had on people before, right, that are very, very vocal about what they don't like about my channel or my opinion. And I'm totally okay with that as long as they do so in a respectful way. So let me make this clear again. If you have differences of opinion with me, that's perfectly fine. If you have differences of opinion with my panelists, that's perfectly fine. However, if you call names or you challenge the credentials like somebody did the other day where they really pissed me off and they said, oh, you got to be kidding. 1-1 is not really NYPD. What a sham this thing is. Yeah, I'll light your ass on fire because now you're attacking my panelists. You're attacking my guests. I've had people question whether or not the lawyers who come on who are actual lawyers. Oh, that's bullshit. You're not a lawyer. I looked you up in the bar and I can't find you. I don't give a shit what you looked up. You're wrong. I vet people. I know who I've got on the panel. I know who they are. I know what kind of people they are. So if you attack personally the people that are doing the right thing, are trying to do the right thing, and you attack them because that's just your thing, you like to attack people, we won't tolerate that here. So that was a long way to say, be nice, everybody. Just be nice. Try to get along. Try to learn how to respectfully disagree. I'm going to bring on the panelists tonight in the order that I have them on the backstage. So we're going to bring 1-1 up. And 1-1, are you there with your audio working?
I'm on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. You said you got a new microphone, huh?
It's the one you recommended.
Nice. It sounds fantastic.
I'm on the yeah, I'm not on headphones or an earpiece right now. This is the first time I'm testing with the new laptop and the new setup. That's why you see the fun little background in the back. I just
yeah, even your background, your new place looks fantastic. Yeah, the background is, you got like a solid. Do you have a green screen going on and everything? Or
no green, no.
Wow. That's great. That's fantastic. Well, you sound and look great. For those who do not know, 11, as I've said it before, 11 is 20-year plus NYPD. He comes on the show, but I want to point out, by the way, because I don't say this enough, 11 is much more than just an advisor, right? And I think sometimes I used to sell Amanda short like this, right? I'd say Amanda was the graphics person. I'm like, fucking Amanda do so much more than just graphics. She does Discord, she does whatever. 11, as well as not just the advisor to the channel on law enforcement issues. He does a whole crap ton of stuff. Not only is he in every single business meeting, he's a major part of the show. We might as well call him a co-producer of the show or assistant producer with the show. Him and Robin and I, we are in regular meetings every single day talking about the channel. I don't know where the guy finds the time. He literally has he has a full-time job. He has a wife. He has a family. I don't know where and he's got personal issues going on as well. Like there's just a million things going on in this guy's life. I don't know how you have time on one, but I just wanted to give you that shout out that we do appreciate everything you do, and you do so much more than just advise on legal issues.
I appreciate it. So I got to give my Saturday plug. So here we go. Not the same as, although it may sound the same. It's a little different. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, welcome to Devil's Advocates. This is a space where silence isn't quiet, where unanswered questions get louder with time, where truth doesn't care who it makes uncomfortable. In a world driven by headlines, hot takes, and half-told stories, we slow it down. We read the documents, we trace the timelines, we follow the evidence wherever it leads. Because here's the thing, justice doesn't live in assumptions, and truth doesn't survive without scrutiny. On this show, we don't accept narratives just because they're popular. We don't dismiss contradictions just because they're inconvenient. And we don't stop asking questions just because someone tells us the case is closed. We challenge the official story. We challenge the unofficial ones too. And when the facts collide with belief, we let the facts win. This isn't about defending villains or attacking victims. It's about advocating for truth, context, and accountability, even when that means standing alone. So if you're here for easy answers, this probably isn't your show. But if you're here to think critically, to question everything, to push past noise, bias, and emotion, then you're in the right place. This is Devil's Advocates. We don't whisper, we don't flinch, and we don't stop digging, because sometimes the only way forward is to move mountains. And with that, live from New York, it's Saturday night.
I'm so jealous that you get to do the live from New York thing. It's so cool. Anyways, thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. And yeah, one of the things I will say before I bring up my other panelists as well, every time I hear somebody say, "Hey, you do YouTube, you do true crime," I love true crime. The number one thing that I run into is a lot of people who say, unfortunately, that they love true crime. What they really mean is they love shows that tell us how they caught the bad guy. That's what they love. They love seeing the shows about how they caught the bad guy. And while we are a true crime show, I tend to focus on the presumption of innocence, which is the bedrock of our legal system. And so I believe in the presumption of innocence. I believe that rather than telling people right off the bat, this person's guilty and here's the reasons why they're guilty and we will get him or her prosecuted because they're guilty, I say, hey, why don't we actually assume that they're innocent first and let the jury decide? I know that seems to be a radical position in this country nowadays. Everybody seems to know already who's guilty, and then we want to see how they got the bad guy. I think we've got it backwards. We're supposed to presume innocence. And in fact, that was one of the big things that came out in the Luigi Mangione thing, as a reminder that our system is set up to presume innocence, and people need to walk if you can't prove their guilt. So it is not, as one says, it is not a matter of us rooting for the bad guys. That's not the case. What we do here is we use that presumption of innocence to teach you about the law, about policing, about jurisdiction issues, about the legal system. You get to learn a lot if you stop doing groupthink and automatically assume everybody who's guilty, well, yeah, he's guilty. He's been arrested. They don't arrest people unless you're guilty. So, I mean, you got to get out of that mindset. And if you listen to this channel, you're going to learn a crap ton about the law. You're going to learn a crap ton about how things are supposed to work and aren't working, as we focus on a lot of things that are broken. It's got a systemic problem in our country country with our law enforcement. And not picking on law enforcement 1-1, of course, but the point being is that we do have some policing issues in this country, and we do work with prosecutors to get narrow focused on an investigation sometimes. So, and as 1-1 would always say, even good cops don't like bad cops. So if you get involved in that, he's not a fan of that shit. Even if he, because he anyways. Enough of the soapbox. Let's bring up Robin as well. How you doing, Robin?
All right, I'm doing good, thanks. How about you guys? 1-1, good to see you. Lee, of course, you.
Good evening.
Everyone in the chat.
It's good to see you as well. And I don't have a script tonight, so we're kind of flying by the seat of their pants, which seems to be the regular MO lately. I didn't even have time to really comb through a lot of the headlines. I did do a big video, like I said, on Luigi Mangione, a lot of stuff on that legal breakdown. I broke down it's kind of funny because I had again somebody today tell me, well, I like so-and-so's channel because they actually get into the legal documents. And I'm like, I don't know where you guys have missed things. Like I've read a million legal documents. I've broken it down. I've had attorneys talking about legal documents. I break down the police documents. How is it that people still keep saying, I like other channels because they get into legal documents? I guess, do we need to do more legal documents? I feel like I've done a lot of legal documents. We talk about it a lot. We have attorneys talking about it. But anyways,
right.
I've got another video where I talk for an hour and 15 minutes on some legal documents, and I read the legal documents and I break down what it means in plain English terms and talk about that. So hopefully people will enjoy that. And if you don't, I guess that's why we don't talk about it more often, because people get tuned out on some of that stuff. I don't know. Anything you want to say before we bring Estes Crime Maze up? Jason Estes from Estes Crime Maze?
No, just to reiterate what you said about, being respectful. I mean, we're here to find the truth. We're not here for wars and that kind of thing. And so that's kind of what we'd like to focus on. Not that we can't have a good time while we do it, but so.
And I will address the chat a little bit. I know that I didn't say my hellos to everybody. It's one of my negatives is I get talking, I get rambling, and we get rambling as a group of hosts, and then we forget that we have like chat going on. And sometimes I'm really guilty of that. And worse yet, if I spend time trying to focus on the chat, then people are like, you look distracted, DA. I'm like, well, yeah, because I can't read and run my fucking mouth at the same time. It's my problem. So, but I will try to do some shout outs after we get Estes Crime Maze up here on the screen. Jason Estes, what's going on? Let me get that picture off you.
All right.
Hey.
We're live.
There
right?
he is. There he is.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. And don't worry, I'll address the chat in a different way for you, DA, and for the rest of us. And good evening, of course, to the incomparable DA, even though he hasn't mentioned my new look without the goatee. Now I'm sounding narcissistic. But
it looks good. It looks good, man.
Oh, good. I'm glad you agree. I had to do it for my mother. She, moms want their sons to look as young as possible, I think. So I want to please her over the Christmas holidays. But 1-1, hello to you, Mr. Clean Shaven New York Cop with, of course, balls of steel. Great. You did a great introduction there. Loved listening to all that. And of course, hello to the lovely Robin, best co-producer out there. And she stresses and reminds us, of course, that we're in a deep sense of community, and this is amazing. And if you allow me, DA, just real quick, for what it's worth, to your amazing people in the chat page, and Robin, the people that you communicate with out there, that again, I like to say, put on your robe, maybe a pair of slippers, and as DA said, he thought I said, you said in the another video that I say, what was it? Grab a drink of hot cocoa.
Hot cocoa.
You thought I said adding, I think you were joking, but you thought I said, and add some, not ginger, what was
bourbon?
It? Reuben. No.
Yeah, bourbon.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If you want to do that, that's fine too. And just get ready, of course, for a deep cacophony, cavalcade conversation with us. And again, I've said before, this is the most riveting, captivating, and most stupendous. 1-1 used that word before. Most stupendous and entertaining, I believe, true crime channel out there. And I want to say, God, my mind is very slow tonight, even though it doesn't maybe seem like it. But no, seriously, I want to also say, as I said before, to the amazing audience, that we're not here to lie and deceive you on Devil's Advocate. Certainly not, right? And we are not here to, oh my God, now my mind. This is the first time I broke up my intro, man.
You're freezing online. You're freezing.
Right. Sorry. We're not here to lie and deceive you. We're certainly not going to try to influence and shape in public opinion and behavior, to try to con you like sometimes the 3-letter agencies. We're not here to lie and deceive you. And just like corporate media, DA reminded us, corporate media, it's 3-letter agencies, CNN, Fox, you name it, right? So,
Right,
and if
right.
Joe was here, I would say hello, Joe, as well, from the deep state of the deep, I should say. And if you want to listen to a man, of course, that knows how to shake up the deep state, providing amazing information, how the bank cartels work, how psyops work, then Joe's your man too to listen to. So with that being said, and one more thing. Our goal, as I said, is to provide truth to transparency, demand accountability, as I've said. And we know, the wheels of justice act slow, right? It's very slow at times, but we're not going to give up on trying to get true justice for the families of the victims, of course, their loved ones, and for, I just lost my mind again. Oh, and for people that are innocently, charged, right? And convicted, right? So take it away, DA. Thanks for listening, everyone.
I appreciate it so much. And by the way, Joe from State of the Deep will be joining us. He's a little bit late, but he will be joining us. And by the way, I saw that somebody gifted a membership. Let's say some highs to some people in the audience. I do want to, hopefully you guys will remind me. I want to get back to a great compliment that I got today by somebody that was talking about all these fights and stuff that's going on with YouTubers and stuff like that. And a great compliment I got to this show. So hopefully you guys remind me of that. In the meantime, let's see if we can say some hellos to some people. Essie backstage as well. We've got Amanda in the show. We got Tammy. Is it Tammy Inxia? Well, I can't wait to watch. And that name sounds new. So hopefully that's a new user. If so, by the way, I love to highlight new users. So if you have a question, make sure you fire it at us so we can get it pinned or bring you up on stage. Robin, make sure to post the link, by the way, to join us backstage so we can let people have a chance to come up. Diana Draper, 940.
Rooney.
Thumper Rabbit Hole. Again, I love that name. I don't know why. DK905. Hey, DA, welcome as well. I'm not pinning these to the screen, but I am reading them. So here for the truth now. Again, I love that. Hello, everyone. Just wanted to catch some names. Denarius Stargarian. I always fuck that up for some reason. Oh yeah, I drop F-bombs. And normally when I do that, when I do a long form video, I put up the parental advisory right away. But you guys have been warned already from the very beginning that that's how I roll. What else do we have? Anybody that's in here? Joanne 7891. We've got the last 24 on the mic. That's an interesting name. Last 24 on the mic.
Nice.
Well, that's cool. What else? We got Karen
that's
Bell.
One of Dago's mods.
Is that one of Dago's mods? Cool. Very cool.
One of Dago's mods.
Karen Bell 4965. I love that we're getting more and more cross between Dago's channel and ours. We got a lot more of his people coming over here and vice versa.
Yeah,
we're watching his stuff. So I love that kind of that camaraderie is starting to build with that community. Again, not for the purpose of drawing lines in the sand and picking who's siding with everybody, but I love watching the community.
No, it's excellent. It's excellent.
Yeah. Row I4G, welcome. Rhonda, the she-devil, the wife next door. She's in the house. The wife next door. That sounds like, I think I've watched a few movies like that, the wife next door. Anyways, that's a throwback. That's a whole other story. Dina Sites, 1855. This is an adult show, by the way. So, and so was apparently that title. What else do we have? Anything else we got to say here? Any shout outs? Again, look for comments, by the way, from new people. Dale Harrison, Karen Folquez, Foxy Rose, a lot of names that we've seen before. Living Dead Girl. That's cool. Anyways, so what else do we got?
That must be a Rob Zombie fan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nice. I like that. Bebe Fern, Lee, what is this? I love your content on Idaho 4. They deserve justice no matter what the side you're on. The evidence never lies and all will come to light. Thank you so much. Appreciate that very much. And we're going to continue pushing for, you've probably heard me say it before. What I can tell you is it didn't happen the way they said it did. And for me, if there are other people involved in this crime, it's not justice to let those people walk free. It's not justice to let them walk free. So we'll keep pushing because I really honestly believe that there's more people and there's more to this story that we don't know, and we need to push for that if we can and bring things out into light if we can. And hopefully it doesn't lead to something horrible happening as we push for transparency and openness. So what else do we got? Anything else? We got so many names in here. KS, Jess, and Art. D Garrison. Let's see what else. Anyways, here, lots and lots of names. I'm going to have to slow down and get to, because I got too much at this point. Robin, I need you to kind of watch again for, of course, trolls, because we have our mods that are on, and we try to let you, by the way, have plenty of leeway to disagree. But I wanted to talk about that compliment I got, which is that I've heard a lot of people, bitching and moaning about people that are wrong about the Idaho 4 and wrong about this, and I hear a lot of negativity. And one of the things that was nice that was said about us was, as I was listening to somebody be very, very critical about how horrible some of the YouTubers are out there, about YouTubers just don't know shit, and they're running their mouth all the time, YouTuber, and I'm like, hey, I'm a YouTuber. Like, I just curious, does this apply to me? And they're like, no, I feel like you have integrity. Like you may be wrong about things. And that was the takeaway. You may be wrong about things, but you're not purposely wrong and lying or making clickbait or whatever the case may be to get attention. And that was a big compliment to me, because I feel like that's one thing that we've done well on this show is we've done things with integrity. You know that if I'm wrong about it, it's just simply that I'm wrong, or I'm misinformed is oftentimes the case. And it's not that I'm blatantly bullshitting and lying about shit. So I love that at least it seems to be the reputation we've done. We've done well with that we don't try to clickbait people into this conversations with that. And looks like Estes Crime Maze is having issues coming and going. So we'll bring him back on stage. What a night you've got going on, bro.
I am very sorry, my friends.
It's all
I don't have Joe's background. The mic I can't get working anymore. That's why I want help one day from my amazing audience that come over to my channel, or people listening on DA's show. I could really use some editing help, although I don't expect you to come here and help me with my mic. But anyway.
Well, that's one of the I tell you, that's one of the things that I've been blessed with. I'll tell you this though, Estes, I had to learn a lot of this myself. Like when I started this, I didn't know shit. And I struggled. And as the channel is built, I've got a group of people that have rallied around me, and they're like, hey, I can do that. Hey, I can do this. Hey, and so it comes with time. You just have to put in some time. And until then, unfortunately, a lot of that stuff, you just got to teach yourself. And then eventually people will start coming in, and like this amazing crew where I got one and Robin that have come in and said, hey, I just believe in what you're doing, and I want to help out the channel. And then when you have that support team, it makes it easier. It's not like I'm not busy, because I am busy, but it does make it easier. So
no offense, DA, I am catching up to you slowly, but almost 800 subscribers. What's that?
800?
Yeah, almost 800. So look out. You just stay on your toes, dude. Stay on your game. Okay.
I got you. I think all kidding aside, I said to you one time, I think that you have the potential to be a much bigger YouTuber than me. And I mean that in all sincerity. You've got a good charisma. You've got a good stage presence. You're better looking, we'll argue, all kinds of things. So if you do the right things, man, you got the sky's the limit. So go for it.
Dude, I am narcissist. I'm a wannabe narcissist. As I told you, a friend of mine said that. I don't know if they're accurate. I don't think so. But I would never say that, agree with you that I have a potential to be bigger than you. But you know what, DA? By you saying that, you ingratiate you to me that much more. And again, I would love to get you a free trip to Costa Rica, as I've always said. I thought it was going to happen, but I can't even hire an edit. I hope somebody would help me edit my videos, and maybe one day I'll be able to, in the near future, be able to do a payment package. But I need somebody that just wants to help out Estes climbing with a bit of editing. That's all. Anyway, enough about me.
Wow. So I appreciate that. And by the way, it's not the size that matters, it's how you use your channel.
That's it.
Don't worry about it. It really is that. But somebody searched Copilot for a connection between Coberger and Kapaka. AI said no connection, just by rumor, and listed the rumor starting with Reddit and Devil's Advocates.
That's so true.
I guess we made it.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
We're really making it now, man. AI is flagging us as rumor makers.
That's embarrassing. Like, you know what? I can't wait to correct. I can't wait to correct AI when there actually is a connection. We've got the FOIA documents. We're sussing it out right now. So that's hilarious. But in time, we'll see how that goes. What else did we have?
So I wanted to address something with Idaho 4 case. So I was on earlier. I know Dago had a live. I think Birdie had a live earlier. So Dago was going through a whole bunch of stuff. So one of the things I've discussed off stream numerous times. It seems I'm always talking to Robin. I think every 2 minutes we're talking about something. So one of the things that we've been discussing. So there's a document. So I'd like to make it. I reread the document, and I know there's like a little confusion because it was brought up during Dago's live. So it's it's in subset. It's MPD subset 50. I think it's called. So it's within that 50. You can download it, and it's number 32 _ redacted. And basically what it lists all the different like the clothing and certain items that were, you know, kept for evidence or vouchered as evidence and what. And so they talk about the clothes being wet. Maddie and Kaylee's clothes being wet, and it went. So when you have evidence, if your department doesn't have it, the FBI or whoever, you know, will have it. They have special dryers that will dry the clothes maybe at like a lower heat, or it won't destroy the evidence. So they use 2 dryers. Dryer 1 was for Maddie and Kaylee. Dryer 2 was for Ethan and Xana. But I want to be clear because there's a little confusion. I reread the document, and that's why, you know, on this show, we're very big about receipts and about referring to what is actually out there. So there's a little confusion. It does not say, it says that, you know, this stuff was put in the dryer due to being wet, but it doesn't say why it was wet. So it could be that it was just wet from blood, or, you know, when people are killed, you know, when people die, you know, there are all kinds of bodily fluids and stuff. So it might not necessarily mean, don't necessarily assume, oh, that means Kaylee and Maddie were outside. That's not what that means. I wanted to make that clear because I reread the document very close, and nowhere does it say. Now, it would be nice if they gave us further info too. Okay, so you said it was wet, but it's like, you know, what was it wet from? It would be nice if they clarified that, but as far as I know, there's no clarification. But I just wanted to make sure that we put that out there on our channel. It does not say that Maddie and Kaylee, that it was wet from being outside. So
I'm so glad you did that, because one, like, and I hate to use this example, but I have to. I'm careful. At least I try to be. Well, I am careful, but I don't always do great at it. But I'm careful about what I say, and people infer what I'm saying when that's not what I said. Perfect example. I think, unless I fucked up recently, I think I've consistently said that Darren Duncan, the friend of Brent Kopacka, for example, said that when they went to the apartment after the shooting, that they found Brent Kopacka's phone had been factory wiped. And I've said that over and over again. But some people think I'm going around saying the police wiped his phone. I've never said the police wiped his phone. What I said was the phone was factory wiped. And some people have questioned me like, no, that's not true. It wasn't factory wiped. And I'm like, okay, I didn't make it up. Like, literally, that's said by Darren Duncan. I watched the fucking video. I've got it bookmarked in my channel where Darren Duncan says we went there and his phone was factory wiped. And they said, that's weird. Like, yeah, it's super fucking weird. So it's not like I made that shit up. That literally was said. And so, and then I'm careful. I try to be careful to say, look, I didn't say the police wiped his phone. What I'm trying to state is a fact, right? If the fact is his friend said the phone was factory wiped. Now, whether or not it was wiped or not, I don't know. But what I stated was correct. The friend said that, right? So, and it's easy, just like you did, one with the wet clothes. Somebody can say, oh, so they must have been killed outside. It was raining. They got their that's not what he's just said. What he said was the clothes were wet and they were in a dryer. So you need to be careful. I mean, I don't know if at one point you ever did say, yes, they must have been outside. But the point being is that even if you did, correcting it when you're like, hey, look, I made a mistake. It's just wet. It doesn't even say what it's wet with. It could have been wet with blood. It could have been wet with other bodily fluids. It could have been wet from the shower. It could have, like, who knows how it's wet. All we know is that the clothes were wet and in dryers. So kudos for you as well for making sure that we're clear on that, because there is a difference. So yes, sometimes on this show, we take a statement like, was Brent Kopaka's phone factory wiped, as a question. What does that mean? And we speculate and we ask questions, but that's different than saying, we know now that the police wiped his phone. That's not what we said. So I need to make sure that people understand what's actually, and I've had this problem my whole life. I will say things and people will say, well, you said, and I'm like, that's not at all what I said. Like, you're not listening to what I say. I'm very careful with my wording. You're not listening to what I say, because what you just repeated was not what I said. So anyways, enough of that soapbox. How's that go? I could, like, Jason Estes just smirking because I'm like, how long is that guy going to go on about the fucking phone? But I feel like it's important sometimes to clarify.
Well, dude, I gotta say, it's almost like I'm talking as if I got a man crush on you. But I just want to say, my mom also added she thinks I'm more handsome for some reason without the goatee. And I was wondering, DA, you haven't said a goddamn thing. But anyway, I'm just razzing you. It's all good, man.
First of all, I'm one of those guys that are not super, it's funny, I'm not super observant sometimes, which is funny because I'm into true crime, and yet I pick apart the details on what people said. Like, I'm really good at picking apart and remembering exactly what you said and how you said it. I'm good at that. But like, women that dye their hair a different color, and I'm like, fuck, I don't know, were you strawberry blonde yesterday and now you're blonde? Like, I don't know what happened. Like, I don't know. And they're like, I can't believe you didn't catch that. I'm like, well, like, I'm horrible at those kind of things.
Now I get it, because remember, in private conversations, you were just dying. It sounded like you said, to know what did I change? You didn't,
right.
You couldn't think,
how did
what
I
could
miss
I change
that?
about my look, right? So
how did I miss that? I don't know. And what's funny is, by the way, as an aside, two things as an aside, because I do asides a lot. When I shave my goatee off, my wife begs me to put the hair back on my face, because like, I look like a child. Like, even as an old man, I look like a baby. And she's just like, oh my God, like, no, you need to get facial hair back on, because like, I don't know what it is about me, but I'm not so good apparently without the facial hair. And by the way, the comment about putting bourbon in the coffee, as an aside story, that was a throwback to high school. I had a high school teacher that would come to school and he would have bourbon in his coffee and he'd be drunk by noon. And that was a high school teacher. So yeah, that's a thing. Like, he literally, everybody knew the guy had bourbon in his coffee. And by lunchtime, he was kind of like, not so good. It was like, the afternoon was a train wreck.
Well, how the hell did you get so smart then, with a teacher that would be, I would think, pretty dumbed down from bourbon?
I have no clue. I don't know. We got a super sticker from Phoenix Rising in the thing, $9.99. Thank you so much for supporting the channel with the financial support. By the way, if you haven't done so, make sure, look, I got all kinds of stuff. We've got gift memberships that are flying in here. If you don't know, you need to have turned on the ability to receive gift memberships to get them. So make sure you've turned that on. Tammy gave a $5 donation. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Love your channel, you said. Thank you so much for that. Super sticker from Angel Heart. So thank you so much for the support. It does mean a lot to the channel. It helps out. We're still not making tons of money. For those who think YouTubers are rich, and the worst part, you guys are getting rich off of people's trauma and tragedy, you sick bastards. No, we are not getting rich. We are not paying the bills. I'm literally going negative. Like, it's not a good thing. So for those who think that I'm profiting off of people's pain and misery, that's not what's going on. DA,
it's just another reason. One day I'll keep working on you nicely to come on over the Extraction Whitsick operation angle, dude. And then people will not be saying that about you at all. These students are alive and well, in my opinion. But anyway.
Well, in some regards, I hope you're right, because that would be less tragic for them.
Absolutely.
But not so less tragic for the American public that had to go through all the fighting with
Very
each
true.
other. Calling each other
Very
names
true, Dan. Totally agree with you on that.
That's the part that's the tragedy. While the families might have some peace, it's not going to give peace to everyone in the country and across the world that are tearing each other apart and calling each other names because your theory sucks ass and their theory is the only theory that's right. And maybe all of it was bullshit. That would make me angry about how much division this has caused. And
that's why we do this program, and you're a master at it. So let's keep it going.
What else do we have? Do you guys want to talk about anything in particular? You want to talk about you see if we got some questions? Do we have anybody that wants to jump up on stage? You want to talk about Luigi? What do you want to do?
There was a question about, I actually just pulled up, I downloaded it while you were talking. Someone was asking about stuff that people, what was found on them.
What was like thing?
Yeah, so I have it. I actually have it right here. So Kaylee had 2 handbags, t-shirt, corner club, nasty and inebriated, black pants, Joe Boxer gray, black flannel, one white sock, one white Adidas sock. Madison Mogan had 2 handbags, short sleeve shirt, which was pink, pants, black Vandal Russell brand sweatpants, and it says M, I guess, medium, I guess. I don't know. Can you hear me? Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I dropped that. Okay.
No, that was JoJo. That was
okay.
JJ from State of the Deep.
Yeah. Xana, 2 handbags, foot bag, sweatshirt, Under Armour gray, underwear Calvin Klein beige small, and Ethan Chapin. This is it says handbags and 2 socks, Puma brand, right and left. That's all Ethan had on him. Crazy, right?
Yeah, right. I do want to. So we got Joe or JJ from State of the Deep backstage. We're going to bring him up in just a moment. Yeah, DA. It says that says DA in another video. I thought you said you actually went to one of the Coberger's hearings. That's dedication. Yes, I was in the change of plea, the plea deal. I was in the courtroom. I was a couple rows back behind Bill Thompson, so you can see me on video, and I did that from there. And then I also went to the victim's impact statement during the sentencing, and I went to the after press release meeting. I was in that press release area as well. So I've been in the courtroom twice with Coberger and the families. I told you about how surreal it was. For those who don't know how surreal it was, I was sitting literally across the aisle. I could have reached out and touched Steve Gonzalez. I could have touched Hunter Johnson. I could have touched Dylan Mortensen. All of them walked right by me where I was sitting. I was on the aisle, and I was like, wow, like this is so weird. It's so weird being in the courtroom with people that you've talked about and you've studied and you've researched all these years. During break, I joked I literally could have got up and gone and taken a leak with Steve Gonzalez. That would have been a weird experience. I did not take the opportunity. I sat still, and I was like, I'm just gonna mind my own business. I don't want to get punched out in the bathroom. And he's like, you're that fucking YouTuber. It says whatever the hell you say. But anyway,
hey, dude,
so yes,
excuse me. I say the same thing with my acting career, background acting. That's all it was. But I never went for auditions. But I met James Franco in the bathroom, for what it's worth. I know I'm pivoting off true crime for a moment. And I joke, I said to James Franco, James, I really appreciate your acting. You're really versatile. And we're both naked in front of each other, and he's just smiling at me. We talk later on. But geez, sorry, I'm just. You made me recall some past history there.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. It's a very interesting moment. So I appreciate that very much. I had another comment I was going to make, but now I forgot what it was. Let's bring Joe from State of the Deep up on screen. Joe, how you doing tonight?
I'm good.
Welcome, Joe.
What's up, everybody? What's up, DA, 11, Robin, SD?
Hello.
What's up, Den? SD, I got a question for you. Did you get
Wood? As long as you say Estes Crime Maze. Sometimes it's okay to say Esty because it's a cool last name. But can you say Estes Crime Maze?
Sure. If you need that, right. I'll say Estes Crime Maze. Did you get Wood? I mean, you're hunky James Franco, naked in front of you.
Well, James, I think, in my opinion, James is probably bisexual, but I mean, he's a womanizer. He's a good-looking guy. But
no argument.
The answer is no. James and I are strictly platonic. We had a great in-depth conversation, very deep, but I have no interest in dating James Franco. No.
Wow. All right. I was curious. He's a big, hunky, famous actor.
Joe,
he's hunky to the
when you started that out, I thought you must be going somewhere else with it. No, you were going exactly.
Joe,
you can take the boy out of the city, but you can't take the city out of the boy.
Oh my God! Yeah. Well, I bless your heart for that.
Crime Maze knows I'm busting his chops. He knows I'm joking.
Yes, and James Franco, he knows I'm joking, but it is true that we met in the bathroom naked and pissing whatever.
Yeah, well, fair enough. Yeah, it's I always thought it's not really the best place to strike up a conversation with a stranger standing side by side at the urinal saying, "Hey, how's it going? I love your."
That's right, but we were on set. I mean, not literally on set at that moment, but it was a movie. Did I already say that? I think I did. Anyway.
Yeah. Did you star in this movie, or were you had a part in this movie?
No, I wish. I should have challenged James Franco or offered to be a fitness trainer if he could get me into higher roles and, get be an A-list star, but
yeah,
just never
fair
happened.
enough. So it's good to have the gang back together, talking about getting wood in the bathroom. Damn.
Oh, hear that anywhere else, folks?
That's
hey,
right.
you know,
you don't see hear this on any other channel.
There you go. Come on.
And
Saturday
maybe
night.
shouldn't have been on this channel. Just kidding. It's all good. What is, by the way, Joe, you usually are much more up. I mean, way more up on the latest, Candace Owens stuff like that. Is there anything new going on with Candace Owens and the Charlie Kirk situation right now?
I mean, what I have seen the majority of is that she kind of pivoted. I know one probably knows this, like yesterday, a little bit away from it for slightly, but the big talk has been for the last week or so, not just Candace, but that whole world, Erica Kirk.
Yeah.
And
she met everything changed a bit. She has her channel or whatever. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. Because I know
once she had that meeting with Erica. So there was a whole big thing with that, like, turning point, like sort of like, they issued her a challenge, but it wasn't really a challenge. It was, there was a whole like big confusion thing with that, about her being on the show or whatnot, going back and forth. Then supposedly it was like her husband's birthday or something. She couldn't do it. Ultimately, what wound up happening, she wound up meeting Erica. I think she said her husband was with her and like and one or two other people. She was able to ask like a bunch of questions that she had, and they actually gave her a bunch of stuff as well. Because remember, Candace has a far reach too.
Right.
She has a far reach. So not saying she's more powerful than the CIA or FBI, but she very possible she has friends.
CIA. She is CIA. How many times do I have to repeat that to you guys? In my opinion, she's absolutely CIA. I'm sorry.
She probably has friends in the CIA or wherever. So she gets all kinds of info and whatnot. But so she had this meeting with Erica, and from that, there's like a whole bunch of stuff going on. And Candace did a whole interview on Piers Morgan, and Piers Morgan didn't, he wasn't like going for her jugular, but so the biggest thing, and he's right. One of the big points that he made, he how Piers Morgan is. He pokes the bear a bit. He does. But the main point that he made was, well, you have like 4 or 5 million viewers on your that subscribe to you and all these fans, and you're more popular than ever before. Don't you think by meeting Erica in private, aren't there gonna, you just like, the whole thing is like Erica doesn't want the conspiracy theories, and she wants all this to stop, and Candace wants the truth, but his point was, well, by meeting Erica in private, you just fueled the fire of more conspiracy. And he's absolutely right. He's absolutely right.
And on top of all that, it's people are just doing research now. A lot of larger content creators digging into her past, Erica Kirk's past.
Right.
And I mean, a lot of things, guys. I mean, a lot of things. Shady stuff. Yeah, like Dinocytes is saying like her ex-boyfriend, who is he was either working for the Daily Wire, or he currently is now going to like become a speaker for Turning Point. So I think that a lot of people have woken up, and the reason why Candace, whether she's CIA or not, she's being attacked, and because of whatever it is, she is speaking about, or has been speaking about, some of the things that are undoubtedly going on, whether she's an operative or whether she's not. She's
I like
speaking
Candace,
about.
don't get me wrong.
Yeah, she's speaking about things that are undoubtedly have been happening. There's no question about it. And a lot of people have caught on to a lot of the fuckery that's going on. And when big money's involved and big donors, there's big fuckery. So, and I think a lot of people in the last, since the beginning, since November, are waking up to the way that system really works. It's all about big money, corruption. And most of the people in our government are involved in insider trading, and they get rich when they get into the government. And there's a lot of things. And so this Candace situation and the Charlie Kirk case has exposed a lot of things. And as I always say, if you're getting attacked, you're probably over the target or close to it.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't that sad that sometimes the mark of you're doing something right is when people are shitting all over you and getting super angry about it. Like, oh, did I touch a nerve? Like, maybe I need to double down on that because you're pissed off about it, and that usually is a sign that I must have gotten close to something you really don't want me talking about. Which is
I mean, it's like when we had the person on our stream this past week or last week. She's like, I'm a state attorney and my father's a federal judge. So what her subtext was, you should listen to me because I'm an expert. Right. That's how the country and the world has gotten into the trouble and the massive mess that we're in, is by trusting the experts.
Yeah.
Because
point.
it's like, I can't stand, and I got pissed off when she was saying that, because I
remember that.
Don't give me that crap like, oh, you should listen to me because I'm an attorney. Like, the government never lies.
Right.
Like you're going to tell people, oh, don't ask questions. Don't ask it, just because 100% of what we've been told from day one has turned out to be bullshit, but trust us. We know. It's like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead. Jason Estes, what's up?
Well, just for what it's worth, I wish it was on YouTube, but TikTok, I got about 280,000 views and thousands of comments. They allowed it to go viral on Charlie Kirk, and I appreciate you guys and DA asking Joe and others, about Candace Owens and her coverage on Charlie Kirk. I'm going to start to pay more attention to my friend Candace on that, and I think Candace, part of her job just might be to try to convince you that we all should believe that Charlie was killed. On my video on TikTok, at Jason Truth Authority, you'll find out. DA knows what I'm about to say. Joe 11 Robin knows. No, it was a public extraction operation. It was all staged, in my opinion, and I can show you. And if I will put those videos out on YouTube, my friends, but I need some editing help first to be able to do that successfully. Like you guys do amazing videos, or DA does. I need some help. Anyway, enough about me. I will be quiet.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, and I don't even have the help. I do horrible at video editing myself. I'm learning. But it's a slow process because, as I said, I'd like to be a content guy, not a video editor, not a music editor, not a, it would be nice if you were at a point where you had a producer that could just make your shit for you, and all you have to focus on is, we'll do it live. And so, if I could focus on that and just read the monologue, that'd make me a little happier, but it is what it is.
We got to mention Dago's in the house.
Yeah, Dago's in the house. I saw that as well.
I think Birdie was in earlier.
We've got,
I think Birdie hopped in earlier. I don't know if he's still in.
I didn't see him pop in, but I did see Dago pop in. And by the way, there is an open invite for open mic tonight. If you want to jump up and say hi, or whatever, then please do so. We're a pretty forgiving group here and love to have people come up and talk to us about things. Anyways, like I said, when you did say though that she was pivoting a little bit, Candace was pivoting a bit. What did you mean by pivoting? Is she backing off some things?
No, she's not. She didn't back off. The first day back after the interview, the meeting. I don't even want to say interview with Erica Kirk, but she soft pedaled it a little bit, on the next episode, and then she kind of got right back to it. But today I was listening to some of her episode from yesterday. Today I didn't listen to the whole thing, And it just seems like she was talking about other things. And again, I don't trust anybody that has a massive following. You know, I've said this countless times. I don't think you can get a massive following unless you're allowed to, because all they have to do is shadow ban you. If somebody's saying things that the powers that be don't want to get out, they can filter your content. That's a fact. So I don't know. I'm not convinced either way about some of these people. However, I don't buy what anybody says. So Candace could tell me exactly what she thinks.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
You heard what she said. You heard what she said about exactly. Like, we don't know what's true or not. She said that she was able to. They let her talk to the lawyer. Remember, and she was asking questions to the lawyer and said, like, this is like a college campus. What video do you have?
Right.
Shows the actual shooting or shows this guy going up to the roof. Like, what? What's the video? And the guy and the answer was, all we have is what you saw. And she's like, what do you mean? Then you have a bunch of nothing. Like, what? And apparently she's saying that there may be, more evidence, but she wasn't showing it, or that it's under lockdown, that we have to wait until May, I believe she said.
Yeah. Before we forget, let's make sure we got Dago backstage ready to come up. I want to make sure our guest gets a chance to pop up here, because we all get long-winded, and then we're like, oh shit, Dago's been waiting for 27 minutes backstage. So let's get Dago up in case he only has a short bit of time. He probably more than likely is going to talk to us a little Idaho 4 tonight, or maybe just come in to say hi. But anyways, I'm going to pull him up on stage right now. Hopefully he's there. And Dago, are you there?
Good evening, sir.
Hey, Dago.
What's up, man?
Good to see you guys. Thanks for having me up. I always come up here. If you offer it, I'll be here. I love coming up here.
Perfect.
So Dago, I did. I don't know if you had time to look at that document. I actually reread it. We covered it in the beginning. I don't know if you were here when we first started.
I just came in here. I had
so you were correct. You were spot on. I reread it, and we clarified it here. It's a short document, and it's only like about 3-4 pages.
Yeah.
Right.
It does not specify what the clothes were wet from, or
why they're wet.
So
it could be bodily fluids, could be blood, whatever.
It happens. You know what I mean? Because like I said, when I went through every document, and I did it in like 3 days, although the ISP documents, I read it word for word, and it became almost androidic in a sense, like I was just reading, okay? And I thought, well, maybe I missed this, so on and so forth, because I did remember the heater thing and all that, so I went back. I didn't get a chance to do today what you said, but I was trying to remember, so it doesn't matter. It's all about finding out, realizing, and going forward with it. It doesn't matter to me. I'm grateful to know anything new that I can find in any aspect.
But I'm super interested in whatever you can turn up on that Jonah Chapin, though.
Yeah, I'm definitely,
if you're able to find something.
I've started on that already. I wrote down some notes earlier when we were live, when you were in there, and I'm gonna be digging, and I'm gonna grab a couple of my researchers that are hardcore in it. Mikey's in here already. He's good at that, and Molly, they deep dive like crazy. We'll figure it out. We'll get some stuff going on him for sure.
Excellent.
And I'm glad, again, to reiterate the whole clothing is wet thing or whatever. It's like the dog barking thing. It's like all of these things. It's easy to take, we hear a dog barking on the camera and therefore jump to so we know Murphy was outside because you can hear him barking. No, you do not know that's Murphy. A dog barking does not mean you know it's Murphy. Wet clothes doesn't mean you now know they were outside getting killed in the rain. Like we cannot make those jumps. And so this is why I think it's great that we all say, hey, look, like this is we need to be careful. A dog barking is not always Murphy. Wet clothes does not always mean it happened outside. All of these things are talking points for sure. And we should ask ourselves, if there's reason to believe And there is. If there's reason to believe that maybe people got attacked outside, then maybe we do add in is the clothes wet because it was outside? Was it raining? Whatever. That's fine. But we just need to be careful when we're stating facts, like we have been, that we make it clear that just because I get this all the time. It's the same thing, to be fair, what mainstream media did to Coberger. You see Coberger driving around the neighborhood. No, you fucking don't. You see a car that they told you is suspect vehicle number 1, but you're not even sure it's the same car every time. And you will say, we know he was driving around. I saw Coberger driving. Not a single one of you bastards that say that saw Coberger in the car. Not a single
it's not
one of you.
true, DA. Gray Hughes, I believe everything Gray Hughes says. He says over and over again, doesn't he? He sees Brian Coberger. The car. He basically says he's seeing Brian Coberger in the car. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
he redacted himself. He went back.
Yeah, he had to call it
for the
back
reminder.
because people were calling him out because of his stupidity and his ignorance. Same thing.
I was being sarcastic.
Absolutely, I got you. All due respect, to the man, Steve Gonsalves called out way before. Yeah, we saw Brian get out of his car and go into the house. And everybody went. Really? Because Steve said it, you're going to believe it. Now we know more lies. Steve admitted that he was purposely running a narrative and asking people to put misinformation out to run that narrative just to get the conviction they wanted. And now
isn't that something? Thanks for bringing that up, Diego. It's not something that needs to be shouted out more, I think, sometimes.
Well, same with
well, you got Olivia too, right? The sister.
Olivia stated
right.
She saw them get out of the car.
Yeah,
exactly. It dropped off. No, you didn't. You
right.
did not see them get out of the car. You watched the car turn the corner. That's all you saw. End of story. That you did not see them get out of the car. You didn't see them go in the house. You didn't see them come back out with the dog. You saw none of that. So stop lying. I'm sorry.
Right.
All due respect, stop lying.
We're supposed to believe everything she said in the impact statement after that. I mean, come on.
That's why she said it, because I'm
Diego, I got a question for you, man.
Yes, sir.
Have you done any digging into Steve G's past?
I have. Yes, I have.
Because I'd be very curious, because I've done general searches, but it's very hard to turn up anything, on message boards and the internet.
Let me give you this, JJ. Steve and Christy, they came from California to Idaho. There's one. Why would anybody come from California to Idaho? Think about that first. They came from a decent living situation to a very good living situation, from California to Idaho. Yeah. Again, and Steve has made multiple comments. Well, we came to Idaho because they had the death penalty. We came to Idaho because it's that type of a community. We came to Idaho for a better life. You came to Idaho for some type of a money situation that you don't want to tell the world about, that I can't quite put my finger on at this point, but it's there. There's something that's not right with that. And I'm going to tell you that right there, JJ. So and as the rest of you guys too, there's something in the background there that I'm still digging and I'm still looking. And then one of these days I'm going to figure it out, I think. So,
yeah. Well, I have my suspicions, but I won't say anything.
I just have a quick follow-up to that.
I got to follow up to it too. But.
Early on, I bring this up from time to time. Very early on in the case, before Brian Coberger was introduced into the case, there was one of the news shows. It was I don't remember which one it was. Like kind of mainstream news. Mm-hmm. They had a guy on who was ex-special forces and ex-law enforcement, and he said in that interview, I saw it firsthand, that he thought Steve Gonsalves was guilty. And they cut him off so fast, and you never heard anything from that guy ever again. And the reason I asked you about Steve G's background is because another thing I've been saying for a long time, and it's just my gut feeling. I have no evidence of anything related to him. From day one, I got fed vibes from Steve G.
Me too.
From day one. And I didn't know why. I just
there with you.
I do a lot of digging into that kind of stuff, and I have for years and years and years. And I just always had that vibe from him, and I could never place it. And when I tried to search his background, it's very difficult to come up with anything other than IT. He worked in IT.
Yep.
So I'm gonna say some unpopular things right now. And I know Dago can handle this because Dago will not see this as an attack on him at all. But I want to share with you some things. One of the reasons why, to play devil's advocates, why the Gonzalez come from California to Idaho is something that I've seen happen a lot. It is expensive as fuck to live in California.
Oh, yeah.
You can sell a house in California and buy an amazing place in a dirt cheap state, like maybe Idaho or Montana or whatever, because you can get 3 times the house for the cost of your house in California. So if you factor that in with the fact, and I hate to say this part, but you know, the Gonzalez's are white on white, like they're the whitest people ever. So you've got Idaho, which is a very, very white state. Some people want to get away from California because there's a lot of immigrants. There's a lot of, you know, racial tension or whatever. So a white family selling their expensive house in California and then buying 3 times the house in Idaho, where it's less of a racial tension kind of thing, is something a lot of people do, to be fair. Now, that doesn't mean, like you say, that there's not, you know, a money motivator in the whole thing. But the point being is that I just wanted to add that, not to correct you, but to say, I see a lot of people transporting from California to other places because they can buy 3 times the house in another state.
Everything is cheaper outside of California too. Everything, insurance, house insurance, all of it. You are absolutely right, my friend. So I agree with you wholeheartedly. Yeah.
So I don't know what the reasons are for the family relocating, but I only wanted to bring that up just because again, I'm playing with all sides of the narrative, right? Like, is there another reason why they did it? Is it simply because of?
I feel like Steve. Sorry. I always do that.
Yeah, no.
I'm my ADHD is so bad that if I have a thought and I don't say it, I will forget it. So I apologize. I do that a lot.
Yeah, no worries.
I feel like you're absolutely right about those things, but I also feel like there was something that was handed to him and said, if you come here, this is going to be yours. And that's just my opinion. I'm saying so.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree that could be a factor in it for sure. Yeah, I don't know. Again, it's just one of those talking points to make sure that all things are considered, so they don't go, well, GDA couldn't it have been just this? Yeah, I considered that. I've considered that.
You are right.
They are. The Gonzalez's still own a home in California where Olivia and her husband live. Well, isn't that interesting? Doesn't that would that change the narrative if they didn't sell the home in California?
There you go. Yeah, and Olivia's husband works for AR. I think you even told me this. AR works for a production company. It's either Peacock, Paramount, or something like that. So they have good income too. I'll just tell you that much. So
and he's made over $100,000. Don't forget on the back of, if you believe his daughter's dead, which I don't, but even people who believe that Kaylee is dead and the crime took place. Oh yeah, that's a lot of money, and people get angry that.
Yeah, the GoFundMe alone that they were using to go to court to travel back and forth and all that. I think that was over 185,000 in itself.
Wow.
That's quite a bit of money.
Wow. Yeah. No wonder he's doing renovations. And mark my words, let's watch the G's. Are they going to Costa Rica or Puerto Rico soon? You know why I'm wondering that. Pardon?
They did. Yeah, they did it once. I think that 185,000 may have helped pay for Junior's wedding as well. I'll just say that. That's again my opinion. But you know, I have nothing, all due respect. I'm just saying I know what they've been through. I'm absolutely 100% heartbroken that they've had to go through that than anybody would. Yeah. But there's still some things that I don't trust within that situation, and some things that have been stated throughout this whole thing. The fact that the man admitted that he leaked information purposely, and he asked people to push a narrative of untruth for the. Why would you do something like that? Other than to get, that's what turned me sideways with him. I'll just say that. So
sure. Well, what I find super interesting, we mentioned a few times, we keep hearing that Kaylee was somewhat estranged, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I wonder, I don't know if we'll ever know, but I wonder like what it was, if if there's some kind of incident, or what, and the reason I say that, obviously, even if she's mad at her parents, or obviously, she's still their daughter. They have every right to mourn and be upset and whatever. But just the fact that of all the kids, like, she's somewhat estranged. I believe that we have the victims, whatever it's called, that I don't know what they call it, that victim statement thing that. One of the girls, impact that I believe it was one of the girls that was possibly gonna be moving with her to Texas or live with her. And there's a part in there where I guess it's asked like, what was her opinion of her family? And of course, she wrote a whole bunch of things about her family that was redacted.
Yep.
And then there's a line that says Maddie was her true family. And it's just super interesting that, because now this is someone that she was possibly going to live with. And for her to, she didn't say like, oh, well, we can't see it. It's redacted, but I'm sure it wasn't anything. I'm sure it wasn't anything nice. I'm sure she didn't say like, she's mad at her father. They're in an argument. It definitely seems like it's something more than that.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues within that family, and that, I mean, if you look at the Samantha situation, I see somebody in chat just threw her name out there too. I have questions. Like I said, it's not my business. That's their business, but they put their business out there, so then it becomes, it becomes everybody's business then. So, I there's a lot of issues I have, and I feel wholeheartedly for them. I could never imagine anybody ever having to go through that, but when you go through something like that, in my opinion, you present yourself to the world in a different way, and it didn't happen with them. You know what I mean? And that's always had me kind of just stepping a little to the left, going, what are you up to over here? You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. So definite issues over there in my opinion.
You make a great point, which is that when people talk about the victim shaming and stuff like that unfortunately, that family in particular has been on every TV show they can possibly get on, making the tours of everything. Every chance they get a chance to be on the TV, they are. And so while, again, that's their right, it comes with the territory that if you're going to do that, you're going to get some questions about your motives and the way you present yourself, especially when you're changing the story.
Yes. So, thank you. And I know the Linda Lane footage, he put that out initially and leaked it along with other things. And I'm thinking to myself, what is your goal here? We want the truth. You should want the truth. And another thing, I watched him in his interview with McDonough. Now, I can't tell if this is real or not real, okay? But, him making the statements he's making, and Chris is asking him different questions. Did you know about this, and this? And, well, no, we didn't know that. But is that true, or did they really not know that? Because if they didn't really know that, that tells me they haven't read one of the damn documents at all. And if you're not reading the documents in your own child's murder case, I want to know what the hell you are doing then, because every word dropped, I want to know. That's all I'm saying. So,
has anybody in the DA or anybody here or anybody in the chat, have you all seen that video I was talking about early on in the case with that guy?
About the person that said they thought Steve was involved, or
I mean, he said it definitively.
I haven't seen it. No, I heard you talking.
I have.
It was wild, because this was before Coberger was in the picture, and this guy was a Navy SEAL, I believe, and an investigator.
Yep.
And now what I take from that is he might have picked up on some of the same vibes that I picked up on. Just something was off, right? Whatever that means. I
want to address something really quick in the chat, and I don't want to do it here. For hopefully you'll understand obvious reasons, but there's a conversation going on in the chat, right, about Kaylee having a history of abuse. I've heard this as well. I don't want to talk about it here on the camera, but if you have that information, I would love for you to give me some summary of that.
We don't know if that's true.
I've heard this for a long time. I don't want to discuss it when we don't have the receipts or the background.
Right.
However, I am interested because I have heard enough of it. So please, you were pretty adamant about the abuse. I'm curious if you're willing to reach out, contact at devilsadvocates.info. I would love to hear what you have to say, but not necessarily on the live. I'm not that kind of guy that likes to talk about that kind of stuff, especially how damaging that could be. But we do know that there was an estrangement with the family. We know there's some weird stuff. So I would love to hear what you have to say before we talk about it.
Yeah, very, very. Receipts always help to make that come out a lot.
Especially something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Because again, like, we could talk about theories and certain things, but some stuff you have to think common sense wise too. Like, I'll say it real quick. I know there's a ton of people in the chat and still a ton of people out there. They're adamant that, Kaylee was on OnlyFans and all this. If she was on OnlyFans, from what I know and my experience in law enforcement, and just what I see happen, we would see pictures. We would, you know, and this again, you know, this kind of goes along with with what Estes Crime Maze always says. We don't have the pictures of the you know, the bodies and the crime scene and all that, but same kind of thing. You think how this case, I guess, got, you know, at least nationally, I will worldwide. You're telling me that
going along with what you're saying,
right.
I have been sent many pictures. I was sent a catalog of pictures early on in this case when that whole thing came out first about the OnlyFans. It's interesting. They're not nude, I'll say that,
right?
But they're very, very provocative photographs of her and a few of her friends that she was in a circle with, and it's like, whoa, hold on, you know what I mean? I would not imagine, and it made me wonder. Steve made a statement one time when he said there's going to be some things that are going to come out.
Yeah,
things are going to get
I remember that,
and they're going to be kind of gross.
Yeah, right. And in my opinion, it was a money scheme going on with those beautiful, glossy, curated pictures of the girls and somewhat provocative poses. Doesn't mean she was on OnlyFans. I think one's probably correct that we would see that. But those photos, I believe, and I talked to another friend about this, were being sold let's just say quite possibly. I'll put it that way.
I'm sure they were.
Yeah.
Right, and that's why I want to, you know, I mean,
not saying they're bad for doing that. Just saying.
Why I want to keep it on a little bit light on that side, because again, without the proper receipts, I think it could dangerously get to.
Agreed.
That's right.
But to Dago's point, those comments were made. Some things are going to come out in this case that are going to be gross, are going to bother people, and I've always wondered what that was. And so we don't need to speculate about it. But I'm curious, what was the gist of that? What things are going to come out that are going to be a little bit difficult for people to hear?
Yeah.
If those types of things were going on, first of all, big whoop, you know, college girls, a ton of them.
It's a normal thing nowadays, right?
Yeah, a ton of them do that if they can make money.
And it doesn't mean they're bad people either.
And if they weren't doing sexual things and they whatever, then who cares? I don't care. But another thing to consider is that why was that covered up? Because if that was something that was happening, then that would be a clue to how to track down somebody that may have had something to do with this whole scenario.
Yeah.
Like whatever, you know, you would think. And again, this kind of supports Estes Crime Maze's theory and what I think is not out of the question, that there was some kind of an extraction possible. Well, and I've brought it up before. It doesn't mean that all four were extracted. Right? That's like flawed logic. There could have been, I'm saying could have been logically. I'm not saying that I think that that's what definitely happened, but I go by logic, and there could have been a partial extraction that took place, because why? And the reason I'm saying this is because there's a lot of evidence that could potentially support that idea, that ties in with numerous theories. And if someone was on OnlyFans, why wouldn't they want to pursue that as a lead? That's not that shameful of a thing. Big deal. College girls are on OnlyFans. Oh God, grasp my pearls. It's like, come on, it's that wouldn't be that big of a deal. And you would think they would say, well, let's follow that thread, because maybe it's somebody that had encountered them on OnlyFans.
Right.
So now we know, though, that the mainstream media and the powers that be were feeding us all horseshit in the beginning of this case. So I don't believe anything we were told, to be honest. And that all the redactions, guys, the redaction shit, that at the level that we're at with this case, that implies government higher level cover up.
Don't remind DA though, Joe. He said at the beginning of, I think, his last video, this case sucks. He had a psychological almost breakdown, didn't you, DA? You're saying this case sucks, but it's wild, man. And I'm glad you're covering it. And I'm glad all of us on the panel and the audiences are covering it.
Some of the back and forth that TA and I have had about this case.
Yeah.
Well, I wish I was in on the phone conversations between you two, rascals.
Some
it's
long
funny you mention it,
conversations, man, where we get to the point where like, what the fuck?
It's funny you mention it because Jules had a similar thing. She ranted. Somebody sent me a screenshot where Jules ranted and she's like, I hate this fucking case. I hate it so much. This case sucks.
Oh yeah.
Because it's the most redacted bullshit story I've ever seen. And it feels like we're never going to get the truth. And all everybody knows is it didn't happen the fucking way you said it did. That's all we know is it did not happen that way.
That's right. But DA, you're putting so much pressure. You got shows like 2020. I think the timing is not just coincidental, in my opinion. That you got shows like 2020 now covering the Idaho 4. You've put out over 1 million videos. Again, I think the best, most entertaining, riveting true crime channel out there, most stupendous. And maybe, just maybe, some of the mainstream media and other AI actual channels are covering the Idaho 4 the last few days because of people like you and our panel. And then they got a lot of pressure on them right now. You heard that, Joe, from the State of the Deep? That's what I got.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
I say I hate this case every single day.
And Dago.
Once a day I hate it. And then I have people that are laughing. They're like, then why are you? I said, don't finish asking me the question because you're sitting there with me. You know the answer to that already. You know why we're sitting here talking about it. We all hate it. And there's a reason for it. But I wanted to jump back real quick to add something, Lee, and all the rest of you guys as well. For 2 years, guys, we didn't talk about Dylan and Bethany, at least on my channel, we didn't talk about it at all because you weren't supposed to. You weren't allowed to because of victim shaming.
Victim shaming, yep.
Same with anything with the Galvez family or anything else. And about 6 months ago, I washed my hands and excuse my phrasing. I said, fuck that. I'm done with this. I'm going to see what I see and say what I say because I've kept this bottled inside me. I was like going to blow up because I had so many things I saw and heard and felt and heard or thought about that I needed to talk about it. It's not victim shaming in these aspects. The way that us as creators do this, we're asking questions because they're there. And I just want to put that out. And that's how I do it. If it includes the Goncalves family, if it even includes at some point one of the victims, I'm never going to be disrespectful to the victims or their families, but I'm going to ask the questions that I have because they relate to the case. And that's all I'm saying as far as how I do it. And I would never want to put, any disrespect out here on your channel, Leah, ever. So I don't want anybody to ever think that that's what I'm trying to do is be disrespectful. And I don't believe any of us out here are. I think we're all just wanting answers finally to the questions that we keep. Every time they say, here's your answers, as soon as you read through that, we have more questions. So it makes it's never ending. It's ongoing.
Right. And it's important to ask these questions. People are like, well, these are just cases and why do you need to know? And you're being fucking nosy and all this. And no, it's the principle behind it. If we're not allowed to ask questions about these things that are going on in this case or any other case for that matter, the corruption, cover up, lying to us, possibly redacting whole cars and people from videos and everything. That's the point of this, is that we deserve better. We're supposed to be the greatest country in the world.
Yes, ma'am.
But yet we're not supposed to ask for the truth. We're not supposed to expect this of our leaders. That's what this is. A big part of this is about. Not that we're out here just trying to be nosy and
yes, ma'am.
It's important what we're doing.
That's right.
And people question things and it's like, how dare you? Well, just like the woman who was on here last week that I got pissed off at.
Yeah.
And I gave her a few choice words in the chat. The reality is, we wouldn't be asking these questions if there wasn't such a long and storied history of fuckery with our government.
Amen.
Yeah. Right. I mean, anybody can read the books. It's all out there. The operations are many of them. Many aren't, but many are documented. And you can see the things that our government has been involved with. And let me tell you, for a normie to read that stuff, it would probably be very difficult for them to swallow it.
Agreed.
I want to say a few things. So Lee and JJ brought up. I'm up to chapter 3. It's an excellent book by John Grisham, Framed, and this is going to go into like something I'm going to mention because people I know are going to say, "Well, Coberger pled guilty, so he's guilty. That's it. That's the end." You have to read that book, and you will see that there are many times that people are coerced or they're scared or they're threatened or all kinds of reasons that people plead guilty. Doesn't mean they actually did it. And you have to remember that it's not for the defense doesn't need to prove who, it's great if you can. They don't need to prove who did the crime.
Or a motive.
All they need to show is the exculpatory evidence. And like everyone's just talking about now, I have about 100 questions for Ann Taylor. Where was this? Where was this audio video? How come, was this not argued? This 2:30 to 3:30 video? And I know people, I know there's other creators out there. I'm not going to name them. We try to be respectful as best we can here that have said, oh, it's just people partying, that it's just a college party. It's this and that. Well, you know what? If it is some kind of crazy party or whatever, which I don't believe, again, watch Lee's his breakdown video of showing 410 to 420 when the official timeline supposedly happened with 4 people getting murdered. You hear crickets practically in the background. You listen to 2:30, 3:30, you hear all kinds of screaming, noises, yelling, singing, all kinds of nonsense. The point is that it's exculpatory evidence. That reasonable doubt. There's reasonable doubt there. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and I don't want to beat a dead horse because we say it every night, but maybe it can't say it enough. Along that book Framed that we were talking about, people often say, it's disrespectful to ask questions. What about those families? They need closure. So what about chapter 1 of Framed, where 7 people went to jail for a crime they didn't commit? Fuck all their families. They all get to just grieve while they have their loved ones called a murderer and accused of raping people and sodomizing them with objects and shit that they didn't do. That's okay. Fuck all those people, because we want to give closure to the victim in this thing. And don't you want that person to have closure? Is it okay with you in America to let somebody have closure by getting the wrong person? Or I fundamentally don't understand what's wrong with human beings, that you would think that somehow we all just need to shut the hell up and let the families have closure, even if it's the wrong person. That's somehow okay. What about all those people who lost loved ones and had their life upturned because their brother or their sister or their son was called a murderer, and then later on you find out they're completely exonerated, they had nothing to do with it? All those families can be damaged, in your opinion, because we need to show respect to the victim who died in the case, and it doesn't matter if you got the right guy or not. Just be respectful to the victim. That's asinine to me.
It is bullshit. Absolutely. You got a man. I've covered these cases. 30 years, excuse me, Robin. 30 fucking years you spend in prison. 30 years for nothing. You did nothing. You get out and then you die 2 years later. Are you kidding me? You lost your entire life. And nobody even says, I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm done with that kind of bullshit. Sorry. I fully agree with you on that.
Swear away. I don't care. That's
just my automatic. I do it in my own channel. It's just a thing I do, so just ignore me when I do it.
Oftentimes people, and I often use the West Memphis 3 as an example of this. People are used as pawns. If a prosecutor's got political aspirations and they're a shady person and they're, a scumbag, quite frankly, they will railroad people. I mean, that's not the only case. There's been many, but that one
Central
was
Park 5.
One of the
Central
biggest.
Park 5,
the Central Park 5 and the West Memphis 3 are 2 cases I always refer to. And I've read books about both of those cases, watched every documentary there was about those cases.
Yep.
And that happened. That's people did that. They got something in their head and they went with it. And the West Memphis 3 guys, I don't know how long I can't remember how long the Central Park 5 guys were in prison, but the West Memphis 3 kids were in prison for a long time. And when they got released, they had to make an Alford plea, which is basically they couldn't sue for wrongful conviction.
Right.
They couldn't fight it. They couldn't file any lawsuits. They had to admit that they were guilty, just like what Coberger had to do to get that plea deal, to have the death penalty dropped. The same thing happened with the West Memphis 3. They had to make an Alford plea, which basically they couldn't be exonerated. And so the reason why the West Memphis 3 got released at all is because of the documentaries that came out.
Yeah.
The early documentaries about the case on HBO, no less. There was like a 2 or 3 part series on HBO. Was a Paradise Lost series. So anyway, my point is that these things happen, and it's way more common than people think. Now, just thankfully, we have these high profile cases where enough people with some reach sniffed it out and said, this is horseshit. These kids were railroaded. And, so we can't, whatever you believe, right? If you believe Coberger's a Fed, if you believe it was an extraction, one thing I know for sure, there was an operation involved, in my opinion, right? So they're lying to the public.
Yeah.
They've been lying to the public, right? This is not the way things are supposed to be. We pay taxes to the government, way too much in taxes, for them to lie and lie to us and shit all over us. So these things have a bigger picture to them, which is why I believe you got to fight.
And it's funny because like sometimes I pin a comment like this and like and when I try to let people finish their point, I'm like 40 million other comments came up, but I wanted to comment on this one. A.R. Hayes was asking, like, what are the legitimate stats of people who pled guilty to charges and later being exonerated? And while I don't have those numbers, I will tell you this. In the book Framed, which is co-written with John Grisham, one of the guys that's writing the book, McClatchy, I think it was his name, whatever, said his group, I think it was Centurion Ministries, has exonerated 70 individuals, their group alone. Now, if I'm not a lawyer, but I believe there's a difference between exonerated and charges dismissed, right? Exonerated means it was proven they did not do it. It's not just a, hey, technicality, you didn't have enough to get him, so we're letting him go because we had to. It's not that. Exonerated means it is proven they did not do it. That was 70 people in this group alone. That's not counting the Innocence Project that's exonerated people. It happens. First of all, it should be a problem to you in America that 70 people have been wrongfully convicted and had to be exonerated. And that's one group. That's not even the Innocence Project. I hate to fucking even think what the numbers on the Innocence Project are. Oh, okay, Dago, do you have those numbers?
The number I had from 2024 was 147 people that had lost an average of 13.5 years of their life exonerated just last year in 2024. Those are the
just
numbers
last year.
Down. Just in 2024, up to 2024. I'm sorry. Yes, last year it said. That's how I wrote it down. But when he asked the question, I started looking for it right away. So that's a lot of people.
That's a lot. It's too many. It's too many in a system. Listen, in a system that believes innocent until proven guilty, how the fuck do we get it wrong that many times? That's a problem. Something's wrong with our system. If our system believes in the presumption of innocence, that the burden of proof is on the state to prove you did it, and they got it wrong so many times that we have to exonerate hundreds of people, that's a problem.
Yeah. I mean, they lost an average of 13 and a half years of their life. 150 people, basically. That's a lot of your life to be losing, in my opinion. I'm sorry, but that's a problem that needs corrected yesterday, not today.
Yeah, and Rhonda, my wife in the next room, said there was 204 Innocence Project's clients exonerated by DNA.
See,
which is an interesting thing. Yeah.
Well, and that's what this case is based on, is DNA. So that, as I think most cases are nowadays, that have the misconviction, I'll call it. I know there's a different word. I can't think of it right now, but a lot of the cases that are wrongly convicted, I think, are based on DNA, in my opinion, is just my thought. So
Yeah.
So this is a big point. I just so there's a exonerationregistry.org, and this is an interesting fact. It says we know of official misconduct in 100. So this is from 2024. We know of official misconduct in 104 or 71% of exonerations that occurred in 2024. Most of these cases involve more than one kind of misconduct, such as failure to disclose exculpatory evidence to the defense. 95 cases. Witness tampering, 43 cases. Perjury by an official actor, 39 cases. Knowing presentation of perjured testimony, 11. Police misconduct and interrogations, 9. And prosecutorial dishonesty in court, 8. And forensic misconduct, 5. So it's just like insane.
And while I will stop short.
Go ahead, sorry.
Well, I will stop short of making accusations. I will say my gut feeling tells you we have almost all of those situations in the Idaho 4 case.
Yeah,
we have hidden exculpatory information that was hidden from the defense. I believe we have evidence of witness tampering where witnesses were coached through their presentations to give the story that they wanted to be told. I think all of the things that you say lead to wrongful convictions, you can see happening in this case, in my opinion. Can we prove it? I don't know. But I think you can see all the telltale signs that lead to a wrongful conviction in this case, in my opinion.
Right. And AR had another point too. How many of those were plea deals that were released after being convicted, so on and so forth? And again, he's still going. Are we talking capital cases? Are we talking misdemeanor? Blah, 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 blah. The whole point is, and these are all great questions because there's so much of it that's going on within the United States alone. It's insane. You could look at this all day long and still never finish up talking about it in one day. So,
no, this. And like you said, it's a love-hate thing. I hate this case because there's a part of me that thinks we're never going to know the truth and we're going to be bashed for asking questions, or we're going to be shamed for victim shaming for asking the questions. And I'm going to be treated like I'm the biggest enemy number one for believing in people's presumption of innocence. Like I'm a fucking asshole for believing in somebody's presumption of innocence. And I got to get attacked for that all day long. That's why I hate the case, because I still believe in the presumption of innocence. And I think that this case was mishandled. This is why I went to the Attorney General of Idaho and filed a letter asking for a criminal investigation to be opened up, because I think there was criminal misconduct in this case. I think they clearly had hid exculpatory information. They clearly coached witnesses. They clearly have misled the public with narratives that have gotten out there to shape public opinion, to make people believe that they knew what happened from day one, when it was all a bunch of narrative bullshit. And it happened all the way down the chain to the point that I think one could make an argument Coberger felt he had no chance. There was no chance of getting off. He had no fair trial.
Bingo.
And so that's a constitutional issue. If he had no fair, we have the right to a fair trial. There was no fair trial in this case, in my opinion. So
there was never going to be either. I don't think there ever was going to be, Lee. I do not. No. I truly now believe, looking at this from the point of view that I do, that we were never going to have a trial. They knew that the whole time.
I know.
And that's just it. They knew that, and they just played us, strung us along as they did, because that was what they had to do. And at this point, this is it. This was the plan from day one, in my opinion. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
Agree with you, Dago. That's why you're also the best. You and DA tied with the best true crime channels out there, as far as I can tell.
Well, I wanted to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, hopefully you guys will find it interesting. I'm sure you've thought of this many times. Whoever wants to answer the question, feel free. I was just wondering, do you believe that Olivia Gonzalez, in her impact statement, I think it was all theater personally a lot, but do you think she believed what she was saying, that she believes Brian Coberger is guilty? And if so, why do you think she believes that Brian Coberger is guilty?
Listen,
good questions or not?
Just days before Olivia read that victim impact statement at the court, days before that, she literally said on a TV station, I think it was News Nation, maybe with Anton, I think, she said that we're going to have a lot of unanswered questions in this thing that we're never going to know the answers to. How do you say that days before saying, I know Brian Coberger did it, you son of a bitch, you ruined our family, while saying days before, we're never going to know what happened in this case.
It's misinformation, disinformation, and she scripted probably what to say a lot of the times.
That was pure theater, Jason. Just like you said, pure theater, 100% for. She wanted to get a reaction out of Brian and everybody around her, especially when she brought up the P word. I'll be honest with you guys. At this point now, after some of the things I've seen, I almost wonder if they may actually know the truth. I'll be honest with you. And only because of the political attributes that are attached to it and the circumstantial stuff, that they have to kind of flow with it now at this point.
Yeah,
because that's why
point.
Chris, I think, brought them on. And I think Chris, as much of an, I can't stand him, but he did a good thing that day, because I think he was feeling the good callbacks out to see what they actually do know, if anything. And it didn't work the way he wanted it to, in my opinion, because they just kept right on with their narrative. But I think they know a lot more now, in my opinion, as to what was going on. They had PIs working for him the whole time, so on and so forth. And that's just my opinion again.
And before we get too far away from the discussion and Framed and the book Framed,
yes,
I've talked about this before, but it's relevant. If you understand psychology, and you don't have to be a PhD. I studied psychology, and I also studied forensic psychology in college. Wrongful convictions are brought about because people are put in a vulnerable psychological state through interrogations, through, long over many hours, and they're being lied to.
Right, psyops too. Yeah.
Right. Well, they're being lied to.
Yeah.
Throughout these interrogations. So people, we talked extensively in when I was in school about false confessions, and a lot of people who don't know this information would say, how is it even possible? Why would somebody plead guilty, confess to a murder they didn't commit? You have to understand the human mind. If people are put, what do you think torture is? With the CIA, the waterboarding, all these things, people will admit to anything. It's been proven countless times. Will admit to anything under the right conditions. And if you study that and the Reed technique of interrogation and CIA tactics of interrogation, you will learn very clearly. It's not even a question. People will admit to anything under the right conditions.
But we have no evidence that Brian, as you know, was tortured. We have no interrogation of this character actor. I think Brian Coberger. Isn't that interesting? Huh?
I'm not even really referring to Coberger.
I know.
Just in general, kind of. Talking about like the book Framed and to understanding that this is a real thing, and it's and again, I know the true crime. People know this. I know they do, because it's a very prominent topic in the if you study true crime and you understand forensics a little bit. But again, it's very important to understand that if you put people in a certain psychological state, they can very easily be manipulated.
Yes. So listen, I want to wrap up here. I hope Dago will hang out for a moment, even though I want to spend I'll try to do it in 7 minutes or less. I want to talk really quickly about Luigi Mangione and the video I got coming out tomorrow. I know it's not necessarily something Dago follows, but I want to talk about the Luigi Mangione video coming tomorrow, and then we will say goodnight, Dago, if you don't mind, and say some last minute words on the Idaho.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so tomorrow morning I'm going to debut a video. It's not going to be a big video. Like this is a perfect example. If I was doing everything for clicks, I wouldn't be covering Luigi Mangione. Luigi Mangione crushes my numbers. It actually tells. Listen, this is what personal thing I take on the Luigi Mangione case. When I put out a Luigi video or a Lisk video, the Long Island serial killer, any other video, the Idaho 4, my numbers get crushed, and that tells YouTube that people are losing interest in my channel. But I still fucking do it because these cases are huge and the cases mean something. So for those who think that I'm in it for clickbaiting, I wouldn't be covering Luigi Mangione because it crushes my numbers when I do so. But let me tell you the big news that's coming out tomorrow in Luigi Mangione's case. Karen Agnifilo just filed yesterday a motion basically to dismiss the entire case from the federal government. And her logic was a bombshell. What she stated was Pam Bondi, the Attorney General of the United States, was making money from Ballard Partners, a company that is heavily invested by United Health Group. It was financially in her best interest to prosecute the killer of the CEO of United Healthcare because it's financially in her best interest. She's on the board of fucking directors of a money company where $400 billion goes to United Health Group, and she makes a financial profit when the company does well and loses money when the company doesn't do well. Nice. And her interest in the Ballard Partners Group could be a reason why she said, if anybody needs to be executed, it's the guy who killed the CEO of United Healthcare. It is one one of many things I cover in that document, bombshell information about why that entire case and what Pam Bondi did from a national pulpit on national TV, telling everybody in America, Luigi Mangione needs to be executed. If there's ever a case for an execution, it's this guy. And she had a financial interest in seeing that the man was executed. That is a major, major problem. And that's just one of several problems that I'm going to highlight tomorrow. So that comes out at 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time tomorrow morning in a video. I hope you watch it. Give it a shot. Help my numbers not get crushed as much, but I know it will anyways. Dago,
by the way, I
yeah.
do cover that case too. Many others. I'm not just Idaho. I promise you. In fact, I was when I heard you say he might want to talk about Idaho when I popped up here. I'm about anything you guys want to talk about. I cover it all. I promise you.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, I do know that you've covered lots of stories. You've covered stories I haven't covered.
Yeah.
I've seen that as well, you know, so I appreciate that. I didn't know that you were watching the Luigi case, so that's super interesting. And of course, I don't know where you stand on the whole issue. I realize that can be a polarizing thing because, you know, like anyways, but the whole, in my view, the bigger picture is, what led somebody to think that killing the CEO of United Healthcare was necessary? Because it's a predatory healthcare system that kills people in the thousands to make money for their shareholders. And while I'm not condoning vigilante violence or people doing things like that, one should ask the bigger question. How did we get to the point in this country where a predatory healthcare system leads somebody to have so much anger that they felt that's the only solution we have left to fight back is the people who are being fucked by a predatory healthcare system?
Amen. Amen.
Perfect.
Hey,
It sounds like you and I, Dago, have a lot in
sorry.
common.
Oh my God, so much, Lee. It's crazy.
Yeah. What you got, Jason Estes?
I was just sidetracking right off Idaho for just real quick. Dago, if you happen to ever want or anybody wants to interview me on John Benet, I'm pretty read up. I would just research before we did an interview with anybody that is willing to. I'll go over the dates on that case. And anyway, just wanted to throw that out there. Thanks.
Absolutely. Appreciate it.
Well, looks like we've got
another
another operation case. Have you guys heard the information about the Brown University shooting?
Oh God!
It's the most preposterous official story.
The other person, and they let the one guy go. And I've been so busy with other stuff, I haven't got to follow up on it.
I saw that.
It's like they haven't released any real footage. Right, except just like in the Tyler Robinson case, some rando videos of this guy with a mask on, of course, walking around, and then, oh my God, what a coincidence! He killed an MIT professor because he went to school at MIT. And oh, by the way, look at the investments, the ties, the financial ties with that case as well. Yet you haven't seen any video of the actual killing of the shooting. And this is like a major, basically Ivy League university. Guys, we're being manipulated.
Are you saying
the way they do it is they use things that you can't question. Because if you question it, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah. Are you saying it didn't happen at the University of what's that university? Did you just mention it?
I can't do it. Can't do it.
Can I ask
what I'm saying is,
yeah,
I'm not going to get into it here. There's an actual matrix that you can look it up online of how to ascertain if something is a psyop or not. I don't know if Estes Crimes has ever seen it. Look it up. It's very interesting. Whenever it's something you're not allowed to question because of the victims, how dare you? A mass shooting or this or that. How dare you question that?
Yep.
They actually have a score for things that happen to help determine if it was a psyop. Now, I say this all the time, and I'll leave it at this. Why would all these cases, these high-profile cases, number one, always have an agenda on the back end of them, whether it's gun control, whether it's some kind of legislation, right?
Sure.
They always have something attached to the other side of it, and you never get concrete information, ever.
Never.
Guys, I'm just making that a point of that.
That's a good point.
Well, maybe we'll get into the Brown University shooting. For fuck's sake, I need another case.
Whoa.
Why not? I'm doing it. You might as well too, Lee. Come on now.
Number 6. Number 6.
along that line, Dago, I want to say my respect and admiration for you as a man and a creator has gone up every single day that I talk to you. You're a great person, a great human being. I love your vibe. I'm so glad that we've kind of started to form this friendship. I think the more I listen to you, the more I think we think the same way. So what a great thing that we met up. I'm so glad that happened. And thanks to Birdie Bombshells who kind of put us together and kind of urged us to kind of put our shit together. Grateful. Yeah, fantastic for that. So do you have any parting thoughts for everybody on the way out tonight?
I do. I want to base it off of what JJ just said, because it's been floating in my brain for months now, guys. What happened to the, and I hate to say this because I don't want there to be any crime whatsoever, okay? But what happened to black and white crime? Where did it go? Why is everything becoming so difficult? So overly, I can't even think of the right word to say, but I was just saying this the other day, like, what happened to it's cut and dry, black and white. There it is. It's done. It's over with. Everything has something insane attached to it. I'm covering the Letcher County situation. That's nuts. Brown University, the Charlie Kirk situation, the Idaho 4 situation, the Delphi case. All of these cases, they're just not normal cases anymore. And I hate to say that, but where did it go?
Well, the fact is, Dago, they're conducting PSYOPs, these high-profile psychological operations often, and we're breaking it down, and we're adding the hard facts, as you know, receipts and interesting speculation and demanding justice.
Right? Dago, just to clarify, the Letcher County, that's the Mickey Steins case and the judge, is that right?
Yeah.
Holy shit,
that one.
I'm on that case too. I can't wait.
That one. Love that one. I just... the day it happened, I'm like, what the hell is this? And I've been there every day thereafter when I can be.
We are going to have lots to talk about in the future.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Lots to talk about. Angel Hart gave a super sticker out here for $20. Thank you so much for that, supporting the channel. Dago, thank you again for coming. It was a pleasure as always. You are welcome every effing night. You're a pleasure to be here. So I know you're a busy man. I know you got your own shit going on. Oh, look, we got Robin back. Robin's been gone for a long time, but she got it back. So I'm going to go ahead and around the horn. I'm going to work State of the Deep. I'm going to go Estes. I'm going to go Robin. I'll go 1-1, and then I'll close out the show. Joe, do you got any last minute thoughts for tonight?
Yeah. Ask questions, guys. Learn the bigger picture. If things don't seem right, dig deeper. Don't believe the mainstream media. Use your gut instincts and learn the big picture, because the big picture will give way more information than the minutia that the media talks about.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Well said. And Jason Estes Crime Maze, what is your thought?
I get long-winded, but I'll try not to be too long-winded. No, thanks very much again for the opportunity to be here with you amazing people and demanding justice and accountability, all that great stuff. And what was I going to say? I've just been in such a bad headspace. I'm sorry for butchering the intro to the audience there a little bit. But again, thank you for your time, everyone. And I just would love to collaborate sometimes with some others, perhaps for some more interviews. But DA, you've got cockswagger. Nobody's got it like you, and I'm proud to be on this show. Hopefully, we can continue that. Joe from the Deep, Stay the Deep, 1-1, the incomparable DA. Goodbye. Have a great evening. Dago's gone. Goodbye, Dago, and of course the lovely Robin, the best CEO out there. She's full of compassion, and yet she brings piss and vinegar when she needs to, if I may say that. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Well, and I appreciate that very much. And by the way, since I didn't say it earlier, yeah, you look good without the goatee. I like it. It's a good look. It's a good look on you. Your mom was right. You look younger. You look better, more youthful. So it's all great.
I appreciate it. I didn't want to ask Robin, put her on the spot.
Right, Robin. What happened? You disappeared for a while, but you get to say goodnight.
You just look marvelous, darling.
Marvelous,
baby. Yeah. So thank you guys for asking about my pooch. She was having a seizure. She's okay now. She knows every time she has a seizure, she's going to get some ice cream. So maybe she does it on purpose. I don't know. Not really. I'm just kidding. But no, thank you guys. So she's okay. Yeah, this community is amazing. Always wonderful having Dago with us. And of course, just love this panel and love our audience. And we just have to keep pushing. And that's what this is all about, because it whether they want to admit it or not, it affects every one of us in this country and around the world for that matter. So again, thank you guys for each and every one of you who watch, whether it be during the lives or on the replay. We appreciate each and every one of you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that. One, it's your chance to close out. I'll close out after you and say goodnight. What do you got to say for the party gift here?
Thank everyone for being here. Thanks to special thanks to Dago for hopping up. It's great to see not all of the creators are fighting, that some of us are trying to work together. That is the main goal. Yes. Even if we have a difference of opinion with certain things, we can talk about it in a constructive, reasonable manner. The efforts should be put forward to finding the truth, and just keep at it. Don't be afraid to ask your questions. And we on a routine basis, we call, put the link out there, have people up. If you don't want to have your face on, that's fine. If you don't want to speak, I know it could be some people have a little stage fright. Just put your question in the chat, and we'll do our best, try to get to it. Tomorrow, the stream we will be running. I don't believe Lee will be here, but we have a kind of a set thing. We try to keep the show will go on, right? As Freddie Mercury would say. So
gosh, miss Freddie Mercury's presence in music, man. That dude was an amazing musician.
Yes.
All right, everybody, thank you as well for coming. For all my guests, it's been another great night. I swear, when we don't have a script, I think we're better. Sometimes I think we're better when we don't have a script. So thank you so much. Again, tomorrow night, my faithful team will be running the show without me. I take Sundays off to try to recuperate and play some games with some friends, some board games, some card games, and kind of reset the mind for another big week ahead. So my team, they don't get the rest. I whip them like redheaded stepchilds into submission and make them do the show whether I'm here or not. So thank them for their service and their time. Everyone have a great night. Thank you, and come again, please. And check out tomorrow's video at 8 o'clock in the morning on Luigi Mangione, just to help the channel. Because if I get crushed in numbers, it hurts overall. So even if you're not into that case yet, give it a listen. Watch me break down legal documents that people say I never do. DA, I would like you to break down some legal documents. Fuck, I'm doing it tomorrow. Watch it. Talk to you guys later. Have a good evening.
Good night, everybody. Dago, good to see you again.
Good night.
Great night, everybody.
See you guys.